going on? Jim from Grassroots Piano. I specialize in helping adults and older adults learn about piano and music. So you're at the right place if you want to learn correctly in a stepwise motion, if you will, but also have fun doing it. I would really encourage you to, whatever you do, try to learn the best you can in a systematic way, because then you won't get frustrated. Now that it's March 2025, many have already dropped off and have given up their New Year's goal to play piano, because now this is the time where you know it takes some work. So keep that in mind. Everyone has to practice. Everyone has to get good at it. And the only way to do that is by trying consistently over and over again. Anyway, today is the major scale, but we're doing just the first 5 notes of the major scale, known as the major pentatonic scale. It's not too hard to understand, but there's some key words that we're going to learn today. Half step, whole step, sharp, and flat. If you can navigate those terms and navigate it on the keyboard and understand how it works, you're good to go. I'll warn you though, when we start going into different keys, it's going to be a bit tricky, but I'm going to guide you through it. We're going to go through most of the major pentatonic scales, but at the same time, I'm just going to demonstrate a few. Always reach out if you have questions and leave a comment. Okay, so this is my middle C, and we are going to first realize the exercises that I've been showing on this channel for the last few months, the C5 finger position. That is the major pentatonic scale in C, but they also are in G, D, and so forth. What we're going to learn right now is what a half step is and what a whole step is. So if I'm at C, a half step, basically you can think of it as from one key to the very closest. So from here, going up. Just call that a raised key for now. Here, going down. All right, now I'm going to play this note, G. Half step going up. That is physically closest. Half step going down. How about this note? F, going down. It's this. And I bring that one up because some learners will always think, oh, it has to be a black key. That is not that's not the closest. So you have to think of it as that. The whole step is basically you need 2 halves to make a whole. So here was a half, and then another half is a whole. Okay, so we touched upon what a half step is and a whole step. Now what we're going to do is talk about a sharp. Sharp is a symbol that basically tells the note to go up a half step. So we're raising it up a half step, C to C sharp. In music, you'll see the sharp symbol and then the note. We say, in English in this case, C to C sharp. All right, C going up. Always memorize that. Sharp means going up a half step. All right, so we discovered half step, whole step, and sharps. Might be a lot. We can come back, but we have one more thing to do before we discover the pentatonic scale, and that is flats. So flat is like a sharp, but the opposite. It goes down a half step. Here's my G. Going down. The closest note, half step, to G flat. We are now going to get a little confusing because I think this is good. I've always had a learner ask this. Let's go back to C. C to C sharp. Okay? C sharp. Easy, right? But now we're going to go to D. Let's go down a half step from D. That is known as a D flat. So I'm playing the same note. There it is. It's called an enharmonic note. This note has 2 different functions, 2 different names, and the reason it does, it depends on what's happening in the scale. It depends what's happening in the chord. Trying to keep it simple right now, so you just have to understand that has different functions. So if we go back to understanding the half step and whole step, and then understand the sharp and the flat, that is great. To make a pentatonic scale, you need C to D, a whole. D to E, a whole. So far we have 2 whole steps. And then we have E to F, half step, F to G. And that's it. So you can hear that sound. So this is a really good exercise, by the way, because you get some theory down. You get to understand the relationships from half and whole, which is so important when you get into chord knowledge and all this stuff. So I'm going to go to this note, G, and I'm going to make a G pentatonic scale. And I'm going to think, okay, so I need a whole, G to A, so that would be a half G to A. And now I need another whole, so let's see. right, and then a half, B to C, and then a whole. And then you have this. Let's talk about the internet YouTube teacher piano tricks that we like to do. Not all of us, and that is to give you just a quick little guide so you can jump on it. But it's a shortcut that will only last so long. And what it is to make a whole step, you can just think 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, and then that's a whole. That works for some, but I wouldn't think that way. I would really try to think about how half steps function, because when you get to the sharps and flats, then you end up counting a lot of half steps later on. So it might be a quick fix for just that moment, just that month or so, but just do a little work. It's easy math. I'm not good at math. 2 halves equal a whole. All right, we are going to go to this note. We got to make a pentatonic scale, and we need to really apply our 2 whole half to a whole. So we got D to E is a whole. Now we need another whole. It can't be this, because I have already said that half step, that means it's the very closest. So we have to go from D to E, and E to a F, but to an F sharp. Okay? And then we have D to E as a whole, and then E to F sharp, another whole. And then we have F sharp to G. That's a half, which we need. And then G to A. So you can play and jam on that for a little bit. See how you're doing? Speaking of which, how am I doing? If you could hit the like button, that would help. It would let me know that I'm making sense. Sometimes when we do things for a very long time, we have to dial it back, and the teacher has to put their, learner shoes on again, and have to think about how you guys are understanding all of this. So let's go to this one, A pentatonic. See if you can do it first. I'm not going to show you. So A to what would be a whole step? B. Now we need another whole step. C sharp. So if you got A to B, and now a half step. Half step, physically closest. And then D, 2, and E, whole. All right, you're still with me? Awesome. Quick power tip. If this is tricky, I would suggest just going back to the keyboard and picking any note and saying, all right, build a whole step down. All right, and there's musictheory.net. It's a free site where you can go ahead and try these exercises. It's an awesome site. It's safe. You can just use it on Chrome or whatever browser you want. And also then practice, okay, I'm going to pick this note. Make a half step going up. Practice that. And like I said, musictheory.net will help you. I'm going to go to one that's going to make, it's going to take a bit of work. A flat key, because I've been talking about sharps. All right, so now I'm going to build one from F, okay, a pentatonic. Notice on the screen we have a B flat, and that might be new for you. And the best way to think about a pentatonic scale, whatever note you're starting on, just go in that sequence, F, G, A, B, C. So now what we need to do is, because we're building that formula, whole to half. We're not going to call it A sharp because we already have an A, so that's a B flat. F to G, G to A, and then a B, but we have to go down, a B flat to a C. So it's the letter name, the note name, F, G, A, B flat, C. That hopefully will make sense. It takes a little bit of time, and I'm more than happy to revisit it. I know in YouTube land, when we get into this, if someone's like, boom, they scroll, but the problem is this will come back and haunt you. Well, maybe not haunt you. But you know what you need right now? You should check out something that's easy and fun to play, is this wonderful crossover exercise. A lot of people have been enjoying it, and I've been enjoying getting to know all of you. So take care and keep practicing. Bye-bye.